Alrighty, fellas, good morning. Yo, what's up? My name is Patrouski. Welcome to another PokeMMO stream recap, your daily source of tips, tricks, information, and news regarding what's happening in PokeMMO. First things first, we have a really good question from Bald Master. Hi, Patrouski, also doing an Ironman, and thanks for all the advice. Of course, thank you for creating a great account. I hope you have fun with it. Only one thing I personally disagree with, based on your rules, which I appreciate. With trade evolutions, later generations added a consumable item that you're correct. What's it called, like trade link or whatever? So my Ironman rule, personally for me, is that you need to earn a battle tower ribbon on your Kadabra, for example, to be able to trade evolve it. I think that's awesome. I think it's a great way to do it. The beautiful part of there are positives and negatives. The beautiful part of there not being an official Ironman mode in PokeMMO is you can adjust the rules however you see fit. Now, my concern, like personally, I wouldn't do that rule because I like that Mach Punch competitive Conkeldurr is only like PvP locked, or or catch event locked, or I like that certain Pokemon are so rare when you can't, like a competitive or a PVM Gengar, competitive or PVM Alakazam. These things are very like rare and prestigious on an Ironman account when you can't trade evolve for them. I think that's a cool extra layer of rarity, but not everybody, you don't need to play that way. It's all about finding the rules that work best for you within the Ironman system, and then just being honest about those rules. Let's go ahead and get into our first order of business for the day. Hopefully you guys are having a good one. Make sure to always like the video if you do enjoy it. Dislike if not, that's totally okay. Here it is. We do it live, boys. Catch events. I love the art on this, and I love Golett and Golurk as Pokemon. Super sick Pokemon. Here we have shiny Golett / Golurk, Saturday the 13th of December at 11 a.m. ET. 11 a.m. ET. December. There's no date here, but it's December 13th. Yeah. December 13th at 11 a.m. ET at Dragon Spiral Tower. It's inside the tower itself, if I recall. You have 1 hour to catch Goletts and Alterias. I didn't even know Alterias were there. I didn't even know that was a spawn at that location. Is it a lore spawn? I'm not sure. Golett is +5. Nature bonuses, Adamant +5, -5 for Modest. I'd have to calc Golett's catch rate. I don't actually know its catch rate off the top of my head. I'm guessing. I don't know if it's a quick ball event. I'd have to calc things like synchronized quick ball. It wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, the art is so good. It wouldn't surprise me if this is a soak. Make sure to have a soak Smeargle for this. This is a ghost type Pokemon. You cannot false swipe Golett without soaking. So this might come down to like a soak, false swipe, Spore, like Pokeball, Great Ball, whatever. This could be a really long catch event in terms of like not that many, much fewer catches than like a quick ball or nest ball type event where you're just spamming the balls. There is a shiny Golett up for grabs. I think this is one of the most underrated, underhunted shinies in all of PokeMMO. Golett, Golurk, both look amazing. They're also Leppa shunts, so by winning this catch event, you're saving yourself like 3 to 4 million Pokeyen on Leppas. Fantastic, in my opinion. You also get also it's competitive. You don't have to breed it up. Like, you're potentially saving 5 to 10 mil in terms of the Leppas used and breeding it up to actually make it competitive. Maybe more than that, because you would need a Ditto or another shiny Golett to breed it. So you're potentially saving tens of millions of Pokeyen and the time by winning this event. Just win the event, guys. It's that easy. Next up, the Cacturn catch event. This is on the 14th of December. 14th of December at 1 p.m. ET at Route 228 in Sinnoh. You have 1 hour to catch Cacturns, Cacneas, Rhydons, and Hippowdowns. The nature bonuses are +5 for all three: Adamant, Naughty, and Rash. And then you have a shiny Cacnea up for grabs. Really cool Pokemon, really cool shiny, in my opinion. So that's the 2 catch events upcoming. Let's now move over. We have one more piece of news, I believe, and then we can head over to the achievement showcase for the community. First things first, I guess, what I'm doing today, this is a list of raid Pokemon that I still have to prepare on my Ironman account. The Xmas event is about 17 days away as I'm recording this now, which is crazy. Estimated, 17 days. Get all of your Pokemon you need done now. Get that shit done now as soon as possible. I have guides. Over the weekend, I put out a guide covering every single Xmas raid, as well as what you need to build for them, and a list of all the mons, as well as I made a video for just general preparations. Check both of those out if you are interested. Here's what I personally just like to cross-reference. I made a list of what I still need, so just do the same. In my opinion, is what I recommend doing. Next up, little developer communication from Vuku. Vuku is one of the only new developers I've seen them add to the game in 13 years or whatever. I think they've added like 1 or 2 over the long period of time. And he was added specifically for iOS. So he's like an iOS mobile coding guy, if I understand. And this guy, he basically confirmed that someone was asked, this is on effect a whole people, but Spill were asking, will PokeMMO ever be playable on portrait mode on your phone? And Vuku was basically like, hey, I don't think so. He was like, hey, we'd have a really hard time achieving this. The current game UI is just not supportive of this, as well as it's not on their roadmap. So I think I appreciate the blunt communication of like, hey, You know, it's probably not. Like, instead of being like, yeah, maybe one day, like, he's like, you know what, it's not on our roadmap. I don't think so. Like, very, very unlikely that we see portrait mode. I think it's a good level of just blunt, good communication. Next up, some community showcase stuff. If you want to see your achievements, what you've been doing in PokeMMO in these streams, in these stream recaps, check out my Discord. There's an achievement showcase little page. So here is Drago Chicken. This is his first. I think this is a beautiful first shiny hunt. This is his first ever shiny hunt. It went over 60,000 encounters with the old encounter counters like that. 70 hours, it seems like. And he talked about how going through those new player struggles of not knowing how to shiny hunt, what to do, and how to deal with it. Wobbuffet is a mom with Shadow Tag. I've been playing this game for a long time. I know you can just run like a reactive gas Weezing like he uses, or a runaway Raticate also works. And he's a mom that breaks away from that Shadow Tag. But a lot of new players might not know that. And he, like, you know, you don't know something until you know it. You can't possibly know to learn something until someone brings it up to you. I think this is a great example. So he was killing every Wobbuffet in every horde. He was just wiping out the horde every single time because he didn't know how else to, he didn't know you could run from them. And I think it's a fantastic way to show, and like, then eventually he learned. And I think this is a beautiful first shiny. I love shiny Wobbuffet. I think it's a really cool hunt. I just wanted to wish him a congratulations over to Dragon Chicken. Next up, this player achieved all 5 regions done and complete Pokedex in 100 hours. This is like, maybe I'm just bad at the game. That's probably part of it. But that's like, not even that. This is 80 hours. That's like astounding to me. This is like an insane pace. I don't know if this is his first account in Pokemon. I'm assuming it's like an alt account in Pokemon, because that is just, that's like speed run levels. That is so insane in my opinion. Really, really impressive to him. Like, that's insanely fast. Yeah, huge congrats to him. That is from Low T. Next up, a quick shiny Relicanth from Maxer Rocker was his, I think his IGN and his Discord were a little bit different, but Maxer Rocker, I love shiny Relicanth. It's a very difficult shunt. It should be a bit easier now with the chump buckets, but really tough shunt. You get a lot of fails along the way. I think it's a super, once again, underhunted shiny. Great Pokemon. I love Relicanth. Next up, this person, Error Door is his name. Error Door got, this is the, I love this. This is a perfect example of shiny RNG evening out. Okay, this person went 77,000 encounters dry for their first shiny. It seems like, at least on the encounter counter, 77,000 encounters dry on their first shiny. Okay, and then the next they got a snow runt after at 77 encounters. I think that is shiny hunting RNG evening out. The Patrouski special, you know, you're either super lucky or super unlucky. This is what you want to see. I think this is sick. Congratulations to this guy. I love seeing this kind of also in the same day. This is like 10 hours apart. Just congrats to him. Really cool shiny thing to see. And then Agrathea, who's the same person who completed the Heatran raid for the first time recently, they also went ahead and completed the Cresselia raid. So just a newer, you know, I would say, like, this is not a newer player. This is a player pushing towards endgame and becoming a part of endgame. And I think that's one of the coolest things to appreciate and shout out, is those players who become those endgame players, become those Pokemon veterans. Any MMO, any game will just die off if you don't help, support, and foster and let new players become veterans, let new players become endgame players. Anybody can do it in PokeMMO. It's, you know, it's a great, I love that it's mostly a fair, even playing field compared to like other games, other things in life. Life's unfair. PokeMMO is a lot more fair, you know, for better or for worse. And here we go. Someone else. This is, I believe his name was Ali Kaza. I'm so sorry if I'm butchering that, but Ali Kaza. He also got his first shiny and his second shiny very closely. Now, I cannot speak, I think this is Spanish. I don't actually know, so my apologies. I am not multilingual, but thankfully I can deduce what this is. He got his first shiny Rapidash on the left at 8,700 encounters, and then his next, it's Italian, thank you, dumb American, I know. His next shiny at 269 encounters. So it went from 8,700 encounters to 269. You know, back to back. He said he was just XP training for the Johto story. His last storyline is when he got these. And not only, I think this is sick, not only did he get his first 2 shinies like back to back and so was there, look at his first catch. Look at this, 3 times 31 for his first shiny is fucking insane. That is, for those who don't know, that's a 1 in, oh, what's the math on that? I think it's a 1 in 70. I think it's a 1 in 78, because normally, I think that's the math. It's the same roll as a 2 times 31, and normally a 1 times 31 is guaranteed on a shiny. I think it's around a 1 in 78, but like a 1 in 78 shinies. Like 1 in 78 shinies you catch around, not exact, I'm talking about math, will be 3 times 31. This person got it on his first shiny. Like that. Look at the stat placement as well. The 31 attack, 31 speed. I don't know what the nature is. If this thing came out naughty, lonely, adamant, jolly, naive, or hasty, I think it's usable as a wild caught competitive Rapidash. I don't know what this is so sick. The IVs on with that were amazing. Next up, this person, clearly the greatest accomplishment here is I try to give out. It's funny he shouts out this accomplishment by starting with the Patrouski heart. Whenever I don't check my Discord as much as I should, but whenever I check my Discord and I see someone helping another player, helping a new player, like he was giving advice on like where to find raid builds, I try to leave a little, just to let you know that you're appreciated in my Discord. Like my Discord is so community ran and so moderator ran that whenever I pop in, I try to be like, hey man, like you guys make it what it is. Like you guys help other players, and how you behave really shows how the Pokemon community looks. So make sure to be nice and help new players in that Discord. And I try to show appreciation when you do. But you know, more importantly than that, he did get a secret shiny Umbreon, so that's kind of cool. Not only did this guy fucking let me see his one sec. Do we do it live? Not only did this guy Pro Gamer, not only did this guy get a secret shiny Umbreon, he got a secret shiny Umbreon from a swarm. And it was his first ever secret shiny. Not only did he get a shiny Umbreon from a swarm, he got a secret shiny Umbreon from a swarm at 15,000 encounters. I think that's sick. If you don't know, secret shinies are about 1 in 16 like single encounter-ish shinies. They're super rare. So yeah, that's all of our, congratulations to him. That's all of our achievement, our community achievements, our community showcase. If you have something, some cool achievement, I love niche achievements. If you are going for a legendary, if you're going for, you know, some weird shalfa that nobody really hunts, or show me the weird stuff. I love the weird stuff. I love the niche stuff to help players find what goals they might want to shoot for in Pokemon, and find shinies and things that they enjoy. Check that out. Let's go ahead and jump into the rest of the stream, the gameplay. If you have any questions, you ever want to ask me things live, come check out the streams. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Thank you for watching once again. Hey Pat, I've seen you use Golurk in your videos and I can't remember what it was used for. Hope you could remind me. Yes, great question. Golurk is technically, just barely, the best single encounter shunting Pokemon. The reason why is that it's a ghost type with no guard. So no guard gives you that plus 10% wild encounter rate, which boosts your, you know, encounters per hour, which makes single shunting faster. That's really nice. And then it being a ghost type allows it to run away from, I believe, both Arena Trap and Shadow Tag, if not one or the other. So a good example is over in Ruin Valley, you can shiny hunt Yanma, right, in Kanto. But at that spot, Ruin Valley, yeah, it's on top, yeah. But at that spot, there's wild Wobbuffet. So previously, you would have to use a Eradicate or some sort of runaway Pokemon's or reactive gas wheezing, something like that, to get away from the Wobbuffet if you'd encounter them, to hunt fast. But you lost out on that plus 10% encounter rate, right? So now with hidden ability Golurk, I have to hidden ability access. Hidden ability access Golurk, it was introduced like over the past 1 year or so. It's pretty new to the game. It gave us the new best single encounter shunter Pokemon. So yeah, the like best lead Pokemon. It's very minimal, like it's just barely the best, but it's something worth noting. It's a great question, like reaching those like upper echelons of like very niche but good to know end game, you know, utility Pokemon. We're doing a Foodtrouski take early in the stream because someone asked what's my favorite fast food, okay? My favorite fast food, it's a nicher one. It's only in like the southeast of the US, but I'm kind of too far to go to one like typically, but when I'm on vacation, I love going to it. Cookout. And my Cookout is genuinely, it's amazing. It's still cheap compared to other fast foods. I love Cookout. I love getting the Cookout, just the typical Cookout like barbecue platter and maybe like a milkshake to split with my wife. Oh, I mean, it's a big meal, but I love Cookout so much. It's amazing. Love me some Cookout. My favorite fast food. I will say I have gotten my wife on the Jollibee train. The first time I had Jollibee, I fell in love. I was like, this is the best chicken sandwich in fast food in my opinion, and I still stand by that, as well with their spicy one, as on top of like the pies. And I love Jollibee, and my wife didn't like it as much, but she had a bite of my spicy chicken sandwich this last time we went, and she's like craving it now. So now we're on the Jollibee. I think I'm a Jollibee over Chick-fil-A guy. I'm sorry, no disrespect. Chick-fil-A I do think like cracked something where they really like solved you know, something to do with chicken, but I am since a Jollibee enjoyer. This is a really good question. Someone said, what saved PokeMMO back then? Let me catch up the stream recap. Someone asked, like, you know, how do you feel about the PokeMMO player base? And I was basically talking about how, like, right now we are seeing a dip in the PokeMMO player base. In my opinion, we don't have exact numbers, but it seems, I think everybody kind of feels that, right? The market's slower, all these things. And that, it's normal. This happens every year. I will say this is a little more severe, I'd say, this year after the Halloween event. Every single year, but I don't know. I was checking my YouTube analytics for views from this exact time like early December last year versus this year, and this year we actually have a little more views. So like last year it dipped off even harder, so it's hard to tell. But that's only my YouTube analytics, which is like a decent representation of like the English community, but not the entire game, right? But yes, we see a huge spike in players during the Halloween event, and we usually see a pretty big drop off after because people really like the event. And then after the Halloween event, people are burnt out. Not only that, but people are busy. It's early December. People are Xmas shopping, you know, putting up decorations, Christmas lights, you know, trees, whether you celebrate other holidays. Like people are just, it's the busiest time of year. Of course, people may not necessarily have the most amount of time to play PokeMMO, you know? So I think it's one of those things to keep in mind. This happens every year. I don't want people to panic. Like, you know, this happens every single year. We do see a player, like, decline post-events. And I'm guessing it will happen again post-Christmas and happen again post-Lunar New Year, especially, like, Lunar New Year. Post-Lunar New Year event, once the event season, like, finishes, we see all these spikes. You can't sustain, like, hype like that, you know, super long term. Hopefully I said that, Beatty. Yeah, of course. You can't sustain hype permanently. It's one of those things, like, and if you do, it's usually like not a really like sustainable player base. So anyways, back to someone's saying like I'm worried about the game dying. I don't think the game is dying. I don't think the game is anywhere close to dying. I think we're seeing very typical. I still think Pokemon is more popular than it's ever been overall, you know. But yes, are we experiencing a small decline now? We are, but that also happens every single year. So it's one of those things. I don't think the game is dying by any means. We have seen the game almost die. We have seen, I think back in like 2015 to 2017, if I recall correctly, that was like the closest I saw the game like come to dying, where I would guess the concurrent player base was down to, I would bet at the lowest, the concurrent player base, which is like people online at one time, was like 1,000 to 3,000 players. I think it was really low at a certain point back in the day due to the breeding changes that people really did not like, even though they were for the betterment of the game. The addition of times 5 hordes. There was a lot of massive changes that a lot of players did not like. And the game was really hurt. And someone said, what did they do to save the game? And honestly, I wasn't playing at that time because I had quit, you know, like that, to show you, like, so I don't fully know. I do know that translating the game into a different language, which they don't really have the option anymore, that was a big part of it. Just trying to continue good updates and make the game like bring the old players back, things like that, as well as translating the game into Mandarin and other languages really helped it. Like that brought a whole new player base. Now in terms of like, so I don't think we could repeat. I don't think we could repeat how we saved it back then nowadays. I think how we like saved, which the game's not dying. Don't worry. I don't want to fear monitor, right? But I think the biggest thing now is things like alpha nerf, things like helping the economy. I think the economy needs to feel good. The moment an economy dies is the moment an MMO dies, in my opinion. Like if you don't have enough people, players, or like money making methods and that, like that's what kills an MMO. I think having a good feeling, sustaining where players can make Pokeyen consistently, which they can do pretty well right now, but things are selling a lot slower. It's also part of event season because people are holding their Pokeyen for investments. So you can't really judge. It's really hard to judge whether or not an economy is healthy during event season. You really have to like see afterwards, like after Lunar New Year event, which is why I've talked about a million times. Like I do plan like riots and like in-game peaceful riots or things like that. If they don't nerf alphas, I do really feel like alphas need some sort of nerf to make the like 1x31s. And I want to bring catching for Pokemon back, I think, or catching for profit. I think catching for profit is one of the most like interesting, engaging things, as well as catching for profit is so good because new players catch Pokemon for profit, the 1x31s, the 2x31s, etc. They sell them on the GTL. Intermediate players, or intermediate to like endgame players, will buy those Pokemon and either flip them or breed them up and make them better and make more breed for profit. So like it's a good trickle up system versus like trickle down, in my opinion, such understanding. It's a really good, like I'm not, you know, economically formally educated, but it seems to be a really good trickle up system where like the new players make money, that helps the next stage of players make money, and then that helps the next stage, like you kind of just keep going. So I think catching for profit being a method that works in PokeMMO is like so, it's like so important. And also it adheres to the Pokemon sentiment of gotta catch them all. I love that, just that gameplay loop of catching Pokemon being profitable is so important. And it's just not any, like it is, you can catch some mons and it is to some extent profitable, but it's so much harder. It is so much harder these days. I've talked about, I did 2 series back in the day. It's harder to make Pokeyen as a new player in PokeMMO than it has been in a very long time. Not ever, but in a very long time. I did two challenges back in the day. making 100,000 Pokeyen in 1 hour on a new account, which I did, and then also making 1 million Pokeyen on a new account, which I did. I don't think that I don't feel confident that I could do those things again, which is like I could not do them in the current meta game. It probably is possible, but it'd be a lot harder. I think Epoch did something where he like flipped. Epoch is just the flipping goat, and it's just fucking, when it comes to money making, it's just amazing. I think he did a challenge where he like made a new account, and he made like multiple millions in 1 day on a new account from flipping, if I recall correctly, which is just crazy. So like, you know, things like that are really important, but I would once again, I would love to see catching for profit be revitalized. No, this is a great point, GW Tree, and I didn't realize this I was late to this game, to this part of the like argument. I didn't realize how many 1x31s, 2x like good IV mons were brought into the game from mysterious balls. I only think of opening mysterious balls. Oh yeah, open them for shiny chance, which is what you do. But like, it wasn't until I opened like a few hundred mysterious balls on stream for content where I like had all like boxes and boxes and boxes of 1x31s. And I was like, these are, I don't even want to, they're worth so little. They just flooded my boxes. I ended up sending them over my Poke Broker. Like it's a pain. It's crazy. I really do think it's alphas as well, but I think mysterious balls unfortunately like really hurt the IV economy and the catching Pokemon for profit economy as well. We're just brought in, there's too many good IV mons coming into the game where you don't have to catch for profit, and it's flooding the, once again, too much supply, too little demand. Even though we have so many new players, so many players that still need raid mons, it's not enough. The supply is just way out of whack in my opinion. No, this is such a funny phenomenon, Xerix, and I relate to this so hard. He says, I don't know why, but I like making Pokemon more than using them. I am 1000% the same way. Before raids existed in PokeMMO, I used to make and collect NU competitive Pokemon. Not to use them. Like, I would have 120 NU comps in my boxes on my main account, and I would never play NU. I just loved collecting. And like, it's almost like collecting like Pokemon. People collect Pokemon trading card games, but then like trading cards, and then don't play the game, you know? There's nothing wrong with that. It's kind of the same thing. It's the same vein of like, people just love collecting, and PokeMMO is a beautiful sandbox game where you kind of just create your own goals and figure out what's fun for you. Like, I loved just collecting. I loved it so much. And what was I gonna say? I was something to follow this up. But yeah, it's funny. Like I bet there is a large player base that just loves like I love building raid mons. I love building competitive mons, PvP mons. It's funny how many of us out there, and it's the same thing with like Magic the Gathering. Like I love building decks in Magic, and theory crafting and deck building more than most things. In Dungeons and Dragons, in Pathfinder, in these tabletop RPGs or a lot of other RPGs, I like making my character more than like playing the game. I think some people just love that like creating aspect and that customization. I think it's a really cool, it's funny like how many, there's dozens of us, you know, like how many people there are out there that like that. Great question. I'm a new player. In the last event I saw, there was a level cap of 65 for most of the raids. Could I just EV train and level my mons to 65? For the early ones, yes. I would recommend, so generally what I recommend with raid mons is leveling up every raid mon if possible up to level 80. I think 80 is generally like the perfect spot, because then you will for sure be leveled up enough for most of the raids. And if you need to get to level 100, you can go from 80 to 100 within the event, like XP training or using XP candies, like what I do with on my Ironman account. In the recent event, I used a bunch of my XP candies to level from 80 to 100 for like the final raids. I think 80 is the best, because it's like that, the difference of level 80 to 100 is a huge difference. So it saves you a lot of time, but it's still doable to also achieve in the middle of the event if you need to do that. Obviously, at the end of the day, like getting everything to 100 is nice, but that's just not pragmatic for every player. I think getting as many raid mons as possible to 80 is ideal, and then getting anything you want for like Jirachi 5-star, those super endgame raids, to level 100, and then anything for the super early raids, those can be 65 or so, but I recommend being careful with that. Once again, I would try to get to 80 if possible. It's a fantastic question that I'm sure a lot of people are also wondering. This is a good quick question, and I did cover it in my recent raid preparation guide for Christmas. Someone said, are the Pokemon I made for Halloween event enough for Christmas? I don't mean to be like, you know, I really don't think so. I think the Christmas event raids and the Halloweens are so different. I also think the Xmas raids are a lot harder than Halloween, because in Halloween you have like the pumpkin to grind and stuff like that. So I hate to be like a negative guy. Like I just don't think that the Halloween raid mons you have built are enough. I think you also need to specifically build certain Xmas ones, and I have a video guide on that if you want to go check it out. This is a good little mechanical question. I always wondered, why do people false swipe and then spore rather than spore and then false swipe? I thought the sleep hacks only influence the catch rate after a turn of being asleep. No, from my understanding, it should help like immediately after. So like it can matter for like Dream Ball or for certain Pokemon that know double edge in like a catch event. I will often Spore first and then False Swipe after, and they can wake up technically and, you know, attack and kill themselves, but like I think it's less likely than False Swipe and then they can double edge and then you Spore. It depends, but like I think False Swipe and then Spore is generally better. If you're worried about like Dream Balls matters on how many turns it's been asleep, so that does impact things. But generally, I think for most activities, I think False Swipe and then Spore is better, but it does come up every so often. That's a great question. Okay, I had to think about it, but a great example of a mon you would Spore first while catching for profit is Whalmer, because Whalmer gets Bounce, I believe, and Dive. So there's a 50% chance that Whalmer is going to be not sporable on turn 2. It's going to be like up in the air or under the water. So that's a great example of a Pokemon that you would actually Spore turn 1 and then False Swipe after. That's a great question. All right, apparently we have a live shiny Shellder over at channel 3 route 13 right now. I love shiny Shellder. Such a fucking cool Pokemon. Dude, that is, congratulations. That is sick to see. This is Jelly D. Congratulations, man. Beautiful, beautiful shiny. Seeing a shiny live is also just so, the feeling is so different. I love, if you guys ever get a shiny live, and if I'm live on stream, let me know. I try to come visit them whenever possible. I think it's really cool, man. It's a special moment. Congratulations, Jelly D. Forever let this live. Hopefully you have a good, you know, IVs on the catch. Good luck to you. Really, really cool Pokemon. I love this question, Sam, and I only realized this recently while making a video actually preparing for the Xmas event, is how few hidden ability Manectrics are there. I also kind of wonder if there's some money making potential here, but I don't know, maybe not. Look at this. I think the reason is I believe this Pokemon only came from Mysterious Cherish Balls. I think that's why. The cheapest hidden ability access Manectric is 700k. And I think it's because it was limited to Cherish Balls. And if you don't know, what's it called? It has, so Manectric has the minus or plus, like, ability for its hidden ability. Yeah, and it's really good for raids. Minus and plus are really good for raids because it boosts based on how many other people have the plus or minus ability on the field. So the more you have and the more teammates that you have that also have it, you can boost it like insane percentages. So Manectric becomes a really good raid mon because of that hidden ability. And it's, yeah, there's not really, let's see, Electrikes or whatever, but like there's not really many cheap options, which is just crazy. Are there even any Electrites? I might have spelled it wrong, but I don't think so. Like, it's just a very rare from Mysterious Cherish Balls only super expensive mon. This one's from, I mean, they changed it to Premier. I'm not sure what happened here. Hatch, they bred it. Okay. But yeah, mostly just from Cherish Balls. Really, really rare. This is a great question. Random question, but I was Ditto farming with repeat balls and I had it maxed out my catch rate. I just caught the alpha, so now what happens? Now it resets. That is one of the tougher parts of Ditto catching, is when you break it at all. Any alpha catch, it does break the repeat ball streak. You do need to go back to using dust balls at nighttime or in the cave, whether yeah. To catch in Johto, it has to be nighttime. In Hoenn, you can use in the cave, it's fine. Use dust balls for 15 catches, then you can go back to repeat balls, and it saves you about 100 Pokeyen, I believe, 100 Pokeyen per ball. Double check. Use repeat balls over dust. They're 12.50 a piece for 13. Yeah, for exact same catch rates once you catch 15 Dittos in a row. Great question. Unfortunately, yes, your streak has been reset. Yeah, people are asking like, what's the best money making methods? I've taken a break from the game and I've come back. How can I make money leading up to the Xmas event? I think right now most markets are slow, man. I'm gonna be super honest. The best thing, you can find niches and find desires and demands in the market. Don't get me wrong. There are tons of ways to make money, but in terms of like consistency, I really, really recommend just doing your Jimmy run every day and your trainer rerun. If you do your Jimmy run and trainer rerun every day, you can make about like 250k from your Jimmy run and then like 200k from your trainer rerun. That's going to be like 450,000 Pokeyen profit every day, once a day. You can do the trainer rerun every 6 hours as well if you want to, so you can do it more. But if you play, like, you could play PokeMMO 2 hours a day, make 450,000 Pokeyen a day. There's 17 days. Let's just like under calc. Let's say 15 days you do these, right? You could easily make what's that? You can make like almost 7 million Pokeyen playing 2 hours a day from now until Xmas. You could get up to like 7 million Pokeyen, right? Like that's, I think just doing your Jimmy run and your trainer run, like that's gonna be more Pokeyen than most players will ever need. Like if you just don't spend it so ridiculously fast, like I think it's I think 2 hours a day of money making will take care of almost all of your Pokeyen needs in PokeMMO, and it's pure yen when you do trainer runs and gym runs. You don't have to worry about, you know, waiting for things to sell in the GTL, which is especially important when you're starting and like you're a newer player wanting to build up that capital. Someone's asking like, hey, what's the best way to price check? Like, how do you know what's a good money making method in PokeMMO? And it really does take a lot of game knowledge and like experience. I can't really like, I try to spread as much information as possible, but here's a good way that I do it. It's like, think about how other players want to make money and how they want to, what do they want to do, right? So when I tell you Jimmy runs are good profit, what does that make other players, you know, that makes them go buy Jimmy run teams, and that makes them, you know, buy, which they would just do anyway, whether I told them to or not, because it's a good money making method, right? So if people need to do Jimmy runs, that means they need Typhlosions, Cyndaquils, right? So you can go check like 2x31 Cyndaquil, modest, mild, or rash nature. Go check. These are like 100k. You could probably breed these for cheaper as well. Don't get tricked, you know, by these prices. Mild. I think I bought a few of these recently for like 40k. Rash. So there's two things. You could breed these yourself, and so you could go ahead and go get some Cyndaquils. Let's double check actually. So like, okay, we can see that a Cyndaquil or a Quilava, yeah. A Cyndaquil with 31 Spatat, 31 speed, modest nature is 95k, right? If I were to go get, let's say, a Ditto, let's find, what's the cheaper 1x31 Cyndaquil? So, okay, this Cyndaquil is 10k for 31 speed, okay? You would then go buy like a 1x31 breeder. You would get Everstones. You could basically make one of these for much cheaper, probably like 40 to 50k, maybe 60k if I were to guess. So you could already, that's breeding for profit. You already, you know, made profit, right? You could also go ahead and go buy those modest Cyndaquils, level them up into Typhlosions, EV train them, level up to level 100, which takes time and energy, but now you're looking at 200,000 Pokeyen profit. So like, a lot of times in PokeMMO, just like going backwards in the market of like, how does this person make money? How do other players make Pokeyen? Okay, how can I sell other players things to make Pokeyen? How can I help other players? If you just ask yourself, how can I help other players? How can I sell something that other players need, right? Which is hard to do when you're a newer player. You don't know all those things, but it's just, that's the general thought process that I used to go down when I was looking for money making methods 3 years ago, when I was, you know, getting back and looking for methods so intensely. Alrighty, fellas, the Pokemon themed Christmas advent calendar continues. My wife, my beautiful, are you serious, Nick Shark? Anyway, okay, well, we do it live. Why does that exist? Holy shit, my beautiful wife got me this present. We're gonna go ahead and open it here and see what's in it. There it is. What is this? Okay, wait, what is this? I'm curious. It's a t-shirt of some kind. Oh, this is fucking, dude, this is pretty sick. It's this is like actually, okay, it's a Magic the Gathering. It's what's her name? Fuck, I play her in, oh my god, Atraxa. It's Atraxa, right? It's the Atraxa. Yeah, it's like a, that's a crazy like blood splatter art of the Atraxa, which is used in like Legacy, used in like every fucking format. I play it in Show and Tell on MTG Arena. That's a really cool, I feel like getting like cool merch from certain IPs is difficult. That's sick. Yeah, it just says for, yeah. No, this is a really fucking cool, a kill on psychic. Yeah, this is a really fucking cool piece of like specifically Magic, which is like hard to find. That's W wife in chat, always cool to see. Alrighty, fellas, really good Iron Man progress today. Really good questions from chat. I'm pretty proud of this stream recap. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like it if you did, dislike if not. Send me emotes on Twitch if yes. Subscribe to me on YouTube if you liked today's video. You know, want to see daily, I do upload every single day. You can see daily videos up on YouTube. Follow me on Twitch for streams usually Monday through Thursday at 12 p.m. ET. Discord's down below if you're interested in that. If you want to go above and beyond and support the content, YouTube memberships, Twitch primes, throwing eggs at my face, and then going above and beyond and supporting via PayPal and Venmo do help out a ton. But for now, I will see you guys later. I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully you had fun. Good luck in PokeMMO. See you guys tomorrow. Peace, Areno. Yo, what's up? Patrouski here. I wanted to take this second to say thank you so much for watching the entire video. It is thanks to people like you I'm able to make the content that I do, as well as everybody whose name is listed here. That's it for me. Have a fantastic day.